Emotional stories, women's overcoming, make us reflect and rethink our actions and our lives. I hope this one is meaningful to you, and that you might even feel like sharing it with your friends. Shall we? The machines were already running when she realized she was crying. Not loudly, not dramatically, just tears slipping without permission. The fluorescent lights buzzed above her like they didn't care. It was 2:17 a.m., and the night felt endless. She wiped her face and kept working. She folded a stranger's jeans with hands that used to set dinner tables, hands that once tucked children into bed every night. Now they moved automatically, without memory, without warmth. This wasn't supposed to be her life, but here she was anyway. The laundry smelled of detergent and loneliness. Coins clinked, machines shook, time crawled forward. No one looked at her when they walked in. She blended into the walls, into the noise. Invisible felt safer than being seen. She told herself this was temporary, that it was just a phase, just survival. But deep down, doubt pressed hard against her chest. What if this was permanent? What if this was all that was left? A man walked in, loaded a machine, and left without a word. Another followed, eyes glued to his phone. No one asked her name. No one wondered how she ended up here. And somehow, that hurt more than anger. She remembered the woman she used to be. Not better, just different. Someone with plans, with certainty, with a future that felt solid. That woman felt very far away now, like a stranger she once knew. As the machines kept spinning, something tightened inside her, a quiet resistance she didn't fully understand yet. This couldn't be the end of her story. Even if she didn't know what came next, the night wasn't finished with her yet. She folded a child's shirt and froze. The fabric was soft, faded from too many washes. It reminded her of mornings that no longer existed. Breakfasts, backpacks, rushed goodbyes. A life that fit inside four walls. The house was gone now. Not burned down, not destroyed. Just signed away quietly, like it never mattered. Rooms emptied, echoes left behind. She hadn't even cried when she handed over the keys. The divorce hadn't been loud either. No screaming, no slammed doors. Just a slow erasing of us into me. Years disappearing through polite conversations. Love fading without a clear ending. She blamed herself in pieces for staying too long, for leaving too late, for not fighting harder or walking away sooner. Guilt found a way no matter what she chose. Each load of laundry felt like sorting her past, what to keep, what to discard, what no longer fit the woman she was becoming. The weight of it pressed into her shoulders. She wondered who she was without that house, without the role that once defined her, without a place where memories lived on walls. The question scared her more than poverty, because she didn't know the answer. As she locked the door at dawn, the thought followed her home. If the house was gone, maybe the old version of her was too. The loss felt unbearable, but somewhere beneath the ache, something shifted. Maybe empty didn't always mean finished. The nights taught her how to disappear, how to move quietly and not expect acknowledgement, how to exist without interruption. She became part of the background noise, a shadow between spinning machines. At first, invisibility felt like punishment, proof that she no longer mattered, that her presence made no difference. She swallowed the feeling and worked anyway. Survival didn't ask for dignity, but as the nights repeated, something changed. She started noticing details: who came in on Tuesdays, who avoided eye contact, who always looked tired. Patterns revealed themselves slowly. An older man every Thursday night, a nurse on rotating shifts, a woman who washed the same uniforms weekly, lives intersecting briefly under fluorescent lights. No one talked much, but silence has its own language. She learned it without trying. The rhythm of footsteps, the weight people carried in their shoulders. She realized the laundry never truly slept. It breathed through the night, held stories no one asked to hear, and she was the only constant witness. That realization settled deeply. For the first time, invisibility felt different. Not like erasure, but like observation. Like standing still long enough to see clearly. And something inside her quietly woke up. She noticed them because they returned. Same days, same hours, same tired faces. The consistency surprised her. People relied on this place more than she realized, and they relied on her presence too. An elderly woman struggled with a heavy bag. No one else moved. Without thinking, she stepped forward, held the door, lifted the load. Their eyes met for a brief second. "Thank you," the woman whispered, not loudly, not formally, just sincerely. The word stayed with her all night. It felt heavier than money. She began greeting people softly, not forcing conversation, just acknowledgement. Some nodded, some smiled back. Trust formed without announcement. People waited for her shift. They asked small questions, simple things about timing and detergent. Nothing important, yet everything felt different. She realized people didn't need miracles. They needed consistency. They needed someone who cared enough to notice. The simplicity of it startled her. She had underestimated that power. When her shift ended, she didn't feel as empty. The night still exhausted her, but something new accompanied her home. A quiet sense of usefulness, and a question she couldn't ignore. Enjoying the story? Have you subscribed and liked it yet? Thank you. Let's keep going. It started with one small decision. She helped an older woman organize her laundry. Separated colors, folded carefully. No charge, no permission, just human instinct. The woman's gratitude filled the room. Not dramatic, just real. Her eyes softened, her shoulders relaxed. Something loosened inside both of them. The next night, she did it again. A worker asked for help scheduling washes. She offered a simple routine. Weekly, same time, no confusion. He agreed immediately. Fear followed quickly after. Was she overstepping? Was she risking the job she needed so badly? The old voice warned her to stay small, to not be seen. But another voice spoke louder, a steadier one. It reminded her she had nothing left to lose, only ground to regain, only dignity to reclaim. She went home that morning feeling different, tired, but lighter, uncertain, but awake. She didn't know where this path led. She only knew she had taken the first step. As the sun rose, she understood something new. She wasn't just surviving anymore. She was participating. And deep inside, hope stirred quietly. Not loud enough to trust yet, but alive. The change wasn't loud or immediate. Nothing dramatic announced itself. But the nights began to feel different. The air carried less weight, and she noticed it right away. People started timing their visits, not asking directly, just arriving during her shift, waiting patiently if she was busy, trust forming without words. She offered help naturally now, explaining machines, holding doors, remembering preferences, small things that mattered. The laundry felt less mechanical, less like a factory, more like a shared space, a place where routines softened, where people exhaled briefly. She still earned the same paycheck, still counted every dollar, still feared unexpected bills, but inside, something steadied. Her steps felt more grounded. For the first time, she felt useful again. Not in a past tense way, not as a memory, but here, now, in this place. That realization warmed her quietly, yet a question lingered. Usefulness didn't pay rent, kindness didn't guarantee security. She wondered how long this feeling would last, and whether she dared want more. The idea came to her slowly, not as ambition, but as necessity. She saw people struggling with schedules, with time they didn't have. She imagined a simple system, weekly washes, set times, no waiting, no confusion. The thoughts scared her immediately, because wanting more had always led to loss. Dreams had cost her before. Hope had proven expensive. Staying small felt safer. She rehearsed the idea silently, over and over, finding flaws, expecting rejection, preparing for disappointment. Her body remembered past failures, the tightening chest, the shallow breath, the urge to retreat. Fear spoke in familiar tones. But the nights kept proving something else. People trusted her already. They listened. They depended on consistency. She wasn't imagining that. One evening, she stood still, hands resting on a warm machine, heart pounding harder than necessary. She knew the risk, and still, she decided to speak. She explained it carefully. No fancy words, no promises, just structure and reliability. Some people nodded politely, others shrugged. A few walked away uninterested. The rejection stung more than she expected. Old wounds reopened quickly, but two people agreed immediately. A nurse and a night shift mechanic. Weekly packages, same nights, same loads. She tracked everything by hand. A small notebook, names, times, preferences, nothing official, just commitment. Doubt followed her home every morning. Was this foolish? Was she pretending at control? Was she crossing an invisible line? Sleep didn't come easily yet. The next week, they returned, on time, grateful, relieved, trust confirmed quietly. She didn't celebrate. didn't allow excitement yet. She had learned caution well, but something undeniable formed. This wasn't accidental anymore. She sensed his presence before he spoke, standing near the door, watching, counting machines, not smiling. Fear rushed through her body, cold and sharp. She imagined losing the job, for doing too much, for not knowing her place. He asked questions casually, about the nights, about the customers, about the increased activity. She answered honestly. Her voice shook slightly, but she didn't apologize, didn't minimize her actions. She explained the system. Simple, effective, human. He listened longer than she expected, looked at numbers, checked the logs, stayed quiet. Silence stretched painfully. Then he nodded once, said nothing dramatic, just acknowledged the difference. The word improvement escaped his mouth, and changed something inside her forever. The conversation ended unfinished. No promises, no conclusions. But as he left, her heart raced. Something had shifted beyond her control. The envelope waited for her, tucked behind the counter, her name written simply, no explanation attached. Her hands trembled opening it. Inside was extra cash, not much, but intentional. A commission, recognition made tangible. She stared at it for a long time, letting the reality settle. This wasn't charity. This was earned. That distinction mattered deeply. Emotion surprised her. Not joy, relief, validation, a sense of being seen. She walked home differently that morning, back straighter, steps firmer. The city looked less hostile, the future slightly less dark. The money didn't solve everything. Bills still waited. Fear still lived nearby. But hope gained substance. It felt real now. That night, lying in bed, she understood. She was no longer invisible, not to herself, not entirely to the world. And yet, stability was still ahead. The bill arrived without warning, folded inside an ordinary envelope. Medical, unexpected, unforgiving. Her hands shook, reading the number. Fear returned instantly. Her mind rushed backward. 2 nights of panic, 2 counting coins on the table, to the certainty that effort was never enough. Old memories resurfaced loudly. She sat alone at the kitchen table, lights off, calculator blinking. The room felt smaller again. Hope seemed fragile. The extra money helped, but not enough, not yet. Reality reminded her how thin stability still was. Progress felt temporary. She considered stepping back, doing only what was required, avoiding risk, protecting what little she had built. Safety tempted her strongly, but another truth pressed harder. Going backward would cost more, not financially, but internally. She couldn't unknow what she had learned. That night, fear stayed with her, but it no longer commanded her. She listened without obeying, and quietly chose to move forward, even without certainty. The offer came simply. No ceremony, no contract yet, just a question. Would she manage the night shift? More hours meant more pressure. More responsibility meant more exposure. Mistakes would be visible. Failure would be undeniable. The weight felt heavy. She hesitated honestly. Not from lack of desire, but from respect for the risk. She measured her strength carefully, and surprised herself with the answer. Yes, she said quietly. No excitement, no celebration, just acceptance. Commitment settled in her chest. The first nights were exhausting. Scheduling, cleaning, handling complaints, managing small conflicts calmly. She made mistakes, corrected them, learned quickly, asked questions without shame. Growth replaced perfection. Each night ended differently now. Tired, but proud, aware of her limits, confident in her effort. She was no longer waiting to be saved. Stability arrived subtly, not as joy, but as quiet. Bills paid on time, breathing without panic. She opened a savings account. Small deposits, consistent, modest, enough to matter. Her body responded first, shoulders lowered, sleep deepened, headaches faded, silence became friendly. She stopped checking her balance daily, stopped rehearsing disaster scenarios, stopped apologizing for existing. The change surprised her. Peace felt unfamiliar. Work no longer drained her completely. It demanded focus, but rewarded effort. She belonged there now. That mattered deeply. She noticed her reflection again, not searching for flaws, just recognition. This woman had survived, and was still becoming. Stability didn't thrill her. It grounded her, held her steady, allowed her to stand upright. That was enough. She chose the apartment carefully, small, clean, affordable, entirely hers. The first night felt strange, too quiet, too empty, too honest, but also safe. She unpacked slowly, each item intentional, nothing excess, nothing symbolic, just life, simplified. She placed a chair near the window, watched the city breathe, lights flicker, cars pass, belonging felt possible. This space didn't erase the past, it didn't replace the house she lost, but it respected who she was now, independent, whole. She cooked simple meals, ate without rushing, slept deeply, woke without dread. Home meant peace, not memory. For the first time in years, she felt rooted again, not in property, but in herself. That realization softened everything. The night sounded the same, machines humming, coins dropping, doors opening and closing. Nothing dramatic changed, but she had, completely, quietly, irreversibly. She felt it in her steps. She watched people come and go, carrying their routines, their exhaustion, their lives, and she honored them. This job had not diminished her, it had rebuilt her, piece by piece, through attention, through presence. She understood now. Simple work can hold great meaning. Dignity grows in consistency, purpose forms through care, and recomeças Ari rarely loud. She didn't need applause or recognition beyond fairness. She needed autonomy, stability, and self-respect. As the machine spun, she smiled softly, not because life was perfect, but because it was hers, fully, finally hers, and that was the victory. Happy you made it to the end. Thank you. May stories always inspire us. Subscribe so we can continue this journey together. See you next time.